Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Yes, yes, children. So we are going to begin the session now. So first of all, welcome you all for today's Plato Talk on drones simplified for kids. So Plato Talks are a series of talks where we bring in industry professionals, where they explain complex topics to kids like you, right? In such a way that you can get inspiration out of those topics, and you can also understand what is happening with respect to technology in the current scenario. Okay. And for today's talk, we have with us Mr. Prem Sai, so who is the founder and CEO of VECROS Drones, an emerging startup in the space of drones technology. And he has also done his bachelor's degree in from IIT Delhi. Right. Welcome, Prem. I know as a founder and CEO, you are quite busy. Thanks for taking your time and coming us and talking to us. And first of all, I would like to know, a little bit about your childhood and your education, and how did you, get into IIT Delhi? If you can throw some light on that, it would be great to know you.
Yeah, so morning, everyone, morning, children. I'm very excited to talk with you today. So as Vasant has already introduced me, I'm Besta Prem Sai. I'm a small, I'm a like ideally graduate. Before that, I used to study from Anantapur, Andhra Pradesh, if you know a tier 2 town. And From childhood onwards, I have been very keen on science and preferably magic. We see, when I was kid, it used to really fascinate me seeing aeroplanes fly, and it always like I wanted to make one, or it always asked me a question like how do they fly, or what is back end mechanism that is enabling them to fly. So all these questions came to my mind when I was like around maybe fifth or sixth class in grade. So and At that time we used to have remote control cars. It's kind of right now Playto kind of kit back then. So using that remote control, I used to break a lot of remote control cars back then to understand how it works, or repurpose it into a different machine, like a small ship using the same motor. So that inspired me to study science, and pick up maths and physics in my plus one and plus two. I also got to know about IIT from my friends and colleagues and their seniors who used to study there and talk about wonderful opportunities that are there in India, and also abroad, especially from IITs, and how they are contributing to science and technology. So that was my inspiration, and that's how I have like been preparing for JEE. And now right now I'm here at IIT. After IIT, I have started a startup again, so to contribute in the same way.
Right. Super glad to know that, you were also were an intuitive child, like a lot of kids here, right? I think most of us would relate saying that, we broke our toys and try to recreate something, right? And even the joy that we get out of a simple motor working out of it, it's tremendous, right? And definitely, kids here and myself can relate to what you said. But good inspirational story, right? And now you are a founder of a drones company, right? So today drones is very common, right? But I'm sure when you were a student and when you were getting started, drones is just a fascinating topic, right? So when did you see the first drone? What made you develop interest towards drones specifically?
First drone I saw is from this Skyfi Labs workshop itself. So Skyfi Labs, headed by Pawan, and I think you are also part of the team. So they first bought a kit on building a RC plane, and we don't have any aerospace department in IIT. Though so then the professors were there, like people are missing out on really good technology, um, and they want to like inspire children to uh, build on top of it. So that was the first time I saw a RC plane, and then later after seeing it fly, it really like caught my eye, and it took around next 1 year to actually hold a drone. I never saw one. Like I maybe in 2015 I saw first RC plane, and then 2016 or 17 when I built one, I was able to hold a drone and really make it work. So it was really funny story how I built my first drone. And especially the Boeing aeromodeling competition. So then I saw a lot of kids and a lot of people who were like nearly less than my age were building drones and flying. So I was used to wonder like where am I living, and people are reaching out and reaching or developing different cool things. So that actually caught my eye, like when I organized this Boeing aero modeling competition in IIT Delhi. So that interest actually sparked me, like how they fly and how we can improve. So we apart from seeing the drones, I also saw them crashing. I also saw them performing poor, or like not in the desired way. So that actually sparked me to like why not build a system that is very safe to fly and very safe, very good to fly. So so that's how the interest sparked in me, and I think that's where I have saw the first drone.
Yes, yes, I do remember because to all out there, so Skyfi Labs is this is our parent company, and Playto Labs is our branch child. So Skyfi Labs, we used to conduct the India's largest air modeling competition in association with Boeing and five different IITs, and IIT Delhi is one of the zonals. So Prem is referring to the one that happened at IIT Delhi, and really glad to know that what we are doing as part of competition and as part of how we encourage kids. It's also inspiring a lot of people, right, to get into this space. So even it was my first time looking at an aircraft, and unfortunately it happened after my graduation, right? Maybe probably if it happened during my schooling or college, I might as well develop interest towards drones because it's such a fascinating thing to see. And also, when you prepare something and it takes off and it flies, right, you get a very good feeling, right? I can relate to what you are saying, right? So, but since you said there is no, aerospace department at your IIT campus, right? So, how did you, develop the knowledge or skills to actually build the aircraft? Like, what did you take any course or something like that?
No, yeah, courses. As I said, we after this aero modeling competition, your team was responsible for organizing it all India. So that's how I got in connect with your team and Pavan. So we started a aero club after this workshop. After this competition, we formally started aero club where students from my senior batch and junior batch like came together and said, okay, apart from studies, we need to do something in this area, because we saw a lot of people participating. Like we saw at least 200 kids coming to the competition, enjoying what people have built. And we have like all over India, we have like thousands of people participated in this competition. And we have witnessed at least six great teams compete for finals in our campus. So that actually said that why is IIT Delhi not here? Like why is IIT Delhi people who can build better technology or better things are not here? So we need to do something about it, and we formed Aero Modeling Club. And But as I said, no one know how to build a drone. So that was a kind of awkward situation where we formed Aero Club, and we don't know, even the seniors who formed the club, myself doesn't know. So then we invited your team to like teach us formally. It was I think around 1 week workshop. So you bought a basic starter kit, aeromodelling kit with foam, glue gun, and motors, ESCs, um, and RC controllers. So I precisely remember that moment. We were divided into teams, and we were just let on to build them. So that actually started the part of building drones. So once that course is done, we knew basics how to build a drone. Now comes the question is how to build it as we want, how to do it more. Then we started building upon that basis, that basic education that we got from the courses from your team. We were able to iterate, debate, and work upon new models and new ways of manufacturing. So that's how I got into drones, and it has always been exciting part, because one is the competition part, and from the market part also, there was a recent announcement of a drone delivery when I was in my first year. So Amazon announced that they want to do drone deliveries. Some company announced that they want to do drone-based surveillance. They want to use computer vision for construction and other areas. So all these applications excited us a lot, and once we got that basic knowledge, we knew that okay, these are the basic components that go into building a drone. Apart from that, there is nothing much that is needed. So once you have that clear basics, like that you learn in school, basic Newton's law or something, you once you come to engineering, it's all about using those basics to learn more, advance more, or learn 2 3 more iterations on top of it. So that's how I got into the drones, or that's how we like formally started the drone part. And we used to teach other students. So again, this is another part, like we took the courses from you, and we used to teach them to other students in the campus itself. So despite not having aerospace department, we were able to quickly turn around that with this basic knowledge that we attained. And sometimes this also helped us from saving some biases that we used to have because of our course or other technical knowledge. But having this basic team, basic knowledge really helped us in overcoming them.
Great, great. So, to put it short, more or less, you learned it on your own with little bit of guidance, and that is also more of your intrinsic interest towards learning the subject. Right? It's really amazing to see that you have done pretty much everything from your own, and now you are a founder and CEO of the company itself. Right? So, just one hypothetical question, right? If for say that you did not take part in the drones competition or the Boeing competition during your IIT, right? So what you would have done, like where Sai would be right now?
I don't know exactly. I maybe robotics. I would have picked up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so uh, it, I mean, every year the competition happens. So maybe if I missed 1 year, I would have been going to the next year, because you can see literally drones flying in your playground. So that part actually was there. Like every time I used to pass by to my classes, somebody is flying a drone, somebody is practicing. So it is not that it is not difficult to not maintain that, or maybe I can put it like this, it was always there, pinging, like there is someone flying, you can go and do it. But apart from that, I not only I didn't just for restrict myself to aeromodeling itself. I used to participate in robotics clubs. I used to participate in uh, blockchain related activities. Back then blockchain was a thing. In 2017-18, I have developed a small game, a small Android game that I showed it to my colleagues when I was in second year. So maybe I would have took that path if not this. But anyway, as I said, right, like it was all attention grabbing back then. The competition was every year, it was supposed to happen, and if not volunteered, maybe some or other way, like most of the people are from my hostel, and it was always catching my eye. Even truth to be told, I was not that much interested in starting a startup in drones when I was like going through the placement phase of my college. But the basic knowledge that I gained from actually helped to understand the problem better. So it's something like this, like if somebody comes to you with a problem, if you have prior knowledge about that domain, it is very easy to understand what's their problem is. So that's how I have, like when I was talking with some professors and other people here, I used to easily understand some concepts and suggest some solutions in the aero domain or other domain compared to let's say bio or chemical aspects. So that knowledge actually again tried to pull me back into this field. Maybe I would have started another software company that builds a games or something. If not this, I think so.
Okay, great. So I can see that, it's more of a calling for you where, no matter what you'd have done, you would have ended up in the tech space. That's really good to know because I think that's what exposure does to people. And at IIT Delhi, you were having that exposure where, you were seeing the flights taking off and people working on robotics projects, people participating in hackathons, right? That kind of exposure is very important. As you progress in your career, slowly you understand, okay, I picked this during that event. I picked this up, during that competition. Even it's with my case as well, right? So that's good because that's the another reason why we are organizing such kind of Plato talks, so that we are giving such kind of exposure to kids at an early age, which would definitely seed a thought, right? Seed an interest in them, which would eventually grow into a big forest, right? So super glad to know that even you got that exposure, and we are seeing in person, and inspiration towards what exposure does to people, right? And even I'm seeing a comment that some kids know about your drones, and they are telling it has a high quality camera, and you can actually do very good pictures, right? So I think it should be super inspirational for you as well, right? So, any thoughts on what should kids do to get good exposure at this some engage? Any tips for that?
Yeah. As I said, like so the curiosity is always there. It's just matter of right tools that help fuel them. Especially kids, they are very curious about how things work, and I feel they are fortunate enough to live in this era where they have huge technological leaps happening around them. So it's like year on year we are seeing new technology coming up. Like right now we have chat gpt. Before it was some kind of drones was there anyway, and blockchain or ethereum or that was there like 2 years before, and actually ai was there 10 years before too. So but right now every technology that was tried and tested back then is now accelerating, and right now kids used to experience good amount of technology. So when I grew up, I didn't had any phone or anything. Now they have literally access to world's knowledge, and that is a really good way to fulfill one's curiosity. Like you can literally ask anything, like how does a submarine shrink, or how does a rocket fly, or how does certain how to present in a webinar. So all these questions get you served, so you as a person now can use that knowledge to build upon it. So right now all they have to do is identify good tools. Like one example I can give is the kits and everything that you provide. As I said, I had rc car before. Now they have good robotics kit and a course that can help them build a robot. So now once they know that, now if they enter a good technical college or institute, they can build upon that knowledge and accelerate that process, because I have to spend maybe most of my college life in learning this stuff, but now they can start before me while they were in school itself. So this kind of tools really help, and they have to really use them, make use of those tools. And another thing is the collaboration part. Like the more you collaborate with different people, the more you learn. You can, like, instead of doing project on your own, you can invite 2 3 kids to your home, sit together, work on it, and maybe we create new robot that is not there in the course. So that really helps while you are like collaborating, and it's actually fun to do in that way, rather than just doing anything solo. So that's my simple suggestion to the kids right now who are actually here. I In fact, I want to congratulate them for choosing uh, to make a difference. Like not everybody not everybody takes an action, though they have the curiosity. So it's a Sunday, 9 a.m. I can feel the Sunday vibes, but still they are here to listen to me and learn from me. So that itself is a great achievement, actually. To be speaking, to be frank, Vasanta, and that fueling should be going on, going forward. Listen to more people, talk with them, interact with them, so you get to understand better what's happening, and maybe you can build something different or something unique on your own.
Right, right. That I think that definitely the right thing because now we have a lot of facilities available. How we use them and how we channel our energy is a very important thing. That's what I think today's parents, especially the kids who have joined us here, who's watching us in YouTube and also interacting with us in this webinar, right? So I think their parents also were a great support for them. They understand, the importance of this, and they also support these kids to, go ahead and experiment something on their own, build some projects, participate in competitions, right? So I think slowly we are moving to the space. And I really like the point where you said that, the technologies once we know as a concept, right, which people are working now, it is available for everyone to use as well, right? At the consumer level, we have brought all those technologies. So even I am very excited to see what the future holds for us, and I'm sure that kids here will also be gearing up for such kind of a future, right? So good to know that. And coming to your company, Vicros. So it's not that I meet someone from a drones company right every day, right? It's something that even I don't know, right? So I want to ask you like what you do at your company and what is the problem that you're trying to solve, and if you can share some insights on that, it would be really interesting for us to know.
So in simple way to put, so our team at VECROS, we are changing your idea of what drones can do. So most of the people know drones can just fly, maybe relay video, but we think they can do more with the right type of tools and autonomy. So what we are building is autonomous platform that helps companies save time and lives, in some scenarios. So we have seen places. So one example I can give you is so just a minute.
Please. Kids, so please put up your questions in the Q&A session. So when we have some gaps in between the talks, I would be curating the questions as well, right? So yeah, sir, please continue.
Yeah. So so one thing is as I was saying, one example that I can give is so you have roads and buildings that you use regularly, and you also see some places where they collapse, and there is accident that happens. So these are all engineering marvels, the buildings and everyday infrastructure that we use in our lives. It is so easy to take them granted, but the actual person who built it knows its limitations and where it can break and where it can't, and how they can prevent it. So this is called preventive monitoring or preventive surveillance. So before like our car itself, so we once go ahead and check ki, is the engine working, or is the petrol tank is full or not. Should we get it to a maintenance, or should we give it to a service person? So every day engineers spend their most of the time in going to these places and inspecting them. So when they inspect, they see a fault, they record it, and they report to the government or other organization who comes and takes care of the repairs. So now this process is very, what I can say, tedious and time taking. So in order to like survey or inspect, let's say 10 kilometers of line, 10 kilometers of a bridge or a dam or anything, so you as a person need to physically go there, spend your time, maybe if not 1 day 2 day, you have to travel and you have to accommodate. So once you create that report, that is not digital too. So now what drones are doing is, or maybe we provide is, so you can just select an area that you want to inspect, let's say a bridge, and a drone will automatically go to that bridge, inspect around it, creates a 3D model of the entire bridge. So this process we have simplified very well enough that even kids can fly it. So that intuitive thing and that intuitive flying and autonomy part we have brought to the drones. So now anybody can use it, because drones really hold massive potential for impact, and they are limited because of the limitations of humans who operate them. Even even people who are like 50 years or who have 10 or 15 years of experience in operating drones sometimes get scared of flying them because of unknown reasons like crashing, or maybe some unknown reason that drone can fly away because of a signal interference or something. So our whole crux is to make them safer and make them in such a way that you can use them in a regular way, and in a different way which nobody has imagined before. So that's what we are building here at Vecros, Vasant.
Great, great. So it sounds very futuristic to me, and but to be another note, what do you think will be the future, right? How will the future look like, especially with respect to drones and aerospace booming?
So it's really, I think it's really exciting to be part of future where drones are. So if you right now everybody takes computers as a thing. So everybody want a laptop, everybody want a desktop to work and to make them productive enough. But just roll back like 20 years before, computers were not a thing. So and a lot of people used to complain that they are very heavy, you can't carry. Even cell phone invention happened like maybe 10 years before, or maybe less, maybe more than that. So if you think now, right now you have drone technology, and think 10 years, just 10 years forward, like what happened with computers or other industries. Drones are going to be part of everywhere, and you can literally see them flying around and doing regular surveillance or regular inspections. If you have a metro project, drones can go under the bridge, record videos of different in different angles, come back. So you see that regularly happening. And another interesting factor is drone based deliveries. So these are helping to connect untapped market. Most of our Indian economy is rural. Maybe let's say 60% of the entire population is in rural areas. And the e-commerce, like right now, if you are in city, you can get 10-minute deliveries of certain items, or maybe 1 day delivery. So if you just move to a tier 2 city, like maybe 50 kilometers from your original location, it is very hard. Now drones enable that. So drones are now like bridging that gap. Like even if you are in a rural area, you can order everything in day. And you have agriculture where drones are again revolutionizing. So now instead of hand spraying the pesticide, drones are flying on acres of land. Like one person would take to spray an acre maybe 1 hour. Drones are doing it in 10 minutes. So see the impact, like 1/10 of the time, and also 1/10 of the cost and safety. The person who is flying, who is spraying the chemical faces a lot of issues. Now imagine if I give him a remote controller and say go and spray the item using a drone, then that's more productive to him. Now he can cover 10 acres in 1 hour instead of covering 1 acre in 1 hour. So that revolutionizing part is happening in every aspect, not just surveillance that I mentioned, from police, from even sometimes even one example is that I really forgot, that really fascinated me or made me start the startup is drones on Mars. So there is a drone that has been sent by NASA that is flying in Mars and on Mars and surveying the entire another planet. Now imagine you have 9 planets and so many moons out there. You can send each drone or maybe hundreds of drones to each planet. So the future is really exciting, and one should one should be part of it um, going forward.
Right, right. I think you pretty much covered everything from agriculture to space exploration. Right. I think that is we started with agriculture and now we are doing space exploration. And with your answer, I feel drones are going to be used from that to that extent, right? So by the early answer, I think the future is going to be a lot more dependent on drones, right? So kids today, right, who are watching this, right? Probably in their teens, right? So 10 years from now they would be starting their career, right? And I'm sure that 10 years would match the one that you said, where the drones would be used for a lot of things, right? So how do you think these kids should prepare for such kind of a future, right? What should they have or what should they know to face that kind of future with a lot of confidence?
Okay, so um, so simple words again. I am saying like the curiosity part itself, and to be more technical, um, building an entire drone is somewhat getting commodity part of thing. Like right now, you can have a drone that is already pre-built and use it. In order to really engineer a drone or understand what's happening, you need to have three domain knowledges. One is mechanical, electrical or electronics, and software programming. So combine this comes under a branch of engineering called mechatronics, uh, I guess. So or robotics in general. So this domain knowledge will help you in understanding how drones work and how they fly. And apart from that, having this knowledge maybe not allow you to build a drone, but really help you to understand if something goes wrong, which is very important thing to know. So you can start with these domains where like you can pick one and then later on branch out to different branches as needed, because even in my team, I'm not the one who builds entire drone. We have people who build good hardware, mechanical structures, people who build good electronic structures, and people who build good software that runs the drones. So all, as I mentioned earlier, you need to collaborate with a lot of people who are really good in their own game to bring best out of every domain. So as a kid, like, you can explore all these three branches first. Just explore as you need, and then pick one and become an expert in the domain. That will really help you in not just constraining yourself to drones, but also you can use the same knowledge in new ways. One example I can give is 3D printing originated from regular printing. Printing paper, same software, kind of same software is used in 3D printing too. But the realization happened when a mechanical engineer understood materials that they solidify when you cool, and they become a liquid when you heat. So that knowledge came from a mechanical engineer, and how to guide that material came from a software engineer, and how to put together into an electronic stack and make everything work came from an electrical engineer. So you once you become good in one domain, or maybe pick knowledge from every other domain and use it to solve one problem, so then you really become good, or maybe I can say superhuman or superhero in that domain. So it's a drones especially is a multidisciplinary thing, and collaboration is what helps build great products and great technology. That really can be seen in drone as a product, and you can see similar examples in any futuristic technology that is being developed. So being multidisciplinary is important right now. And also, as I said, being expert in one domain helps you. So you need to uh, finally like balance that equation. So you can excel in the domain that you have chose. Uh,
Right, got it. So yeah, I think that's a good way to put it, so that kids also will understand okay what they are learning and where it will lead to in the future, right? And since we are talking about drones now, right? Maybe if you can explain how drones work and what exactly is the technology behind it, in simple terms, so that the kids can understand, it will be really helpful for them as well.
okay. So um, so regular drone you might have seen four propellers, four fans basically, not the regular fan that you see in your home, maybe that. So we have four uh, motors that move the drone, and that move the propeller, sorry. And you have one central processing unit, CPU, which commands those motors when to increase their speed, like the knob you have in your home, so you can increase the speed or decrease the speed. So that part actually happens like 200 times per second in a CPU in a drone. So you have four fans rotating in counter direction. So if you understand basic angular momentum theory, so two fans will be moving in one direction and two fans will be moving in another direction. So we have four fans that move, and we have a CPU in between, which is calculating how at what speed each motor should rotate. So this calculation happens, as I said, 200 times per second, and it uses some sensors called IMU and gyroscope. So this is used to tell the drone that it is stable. So for us, stability means we know we are on a level field, or we have eyes, we see that this is the stable thing. But for a drone, it doesn't know how to be stable. So it uses this small sensors that are there on the drone to know that it is stable. And once it feels that it is going off, like maybe moving, tilting this word or tilting that word, the CPU adjusts the fans of each propeller or each motor, so it can level back. So that is the simple working behind the drones. So this how you control that speed of a motor is what actually makes drones fly. So if you want to move up, you can increase speed of every motor in the same proportion. So let's one is moving at a high speed, move everything at a high speed, and everyone drone flies up. And if you want to move sideways, so you lower the speed of this side of fans, and higher the speed of this side of fans, and it will move in this direction, similar to the opposite direction. Now the interesting question comes, how do you make it to rotate? So that rotation part is really important, because when you are seeing the drone, you need to know where it is heading. So you as a person can fly it. So that question, that is a really, again, as I said, the angular momentum concept. I think it's a 7th class concept or 5th class concept. So you have two fans here. So as I said, right now to move here, we are moving these fans, and to move forward, we move these fans and these fans. So now to rotate, you select a diagonal fans. So you have 1 and 3 that increase their RPM or speed, and you have 2 and 4 that decrease their RPM. So which increases angular momentum in one direction. So then the drone moves. So that's how the drone moves, this side or this side. So it's basically controlling how speed the what is the speed of each motor that makes the drone to fly. In robotics, we call them as degrees of freedom. So each degree of freedom is I took particularly 4 motor drone because it's really easy to explain and really easy system to build compared to, there are a lot of configurations in market like hexacopter, tricopter. Even there is a single drone that flies on only one motor. But the whole concept is very simple. You are some way controlling speed of each actuator or each system in the drone, and you are able to make it fly. So I have oversimplified everything, but in you have to go one more step forward. I can say drone has something called a thrust and drag. So the fans, when they rotate, they generate they push air downward. So using Newton's third law, the lift is generated in opposite direction. So when you move something down, you get something up, let's say force. So the thrust is generated in each direction. So when you equally push air downwards, you equally move up. When you unequally move push air, you unequally move in different directions. So that's in simple I can put, Vasant, right now.
Okay, okay, great. I think that is the most simplified explanation that I have heard for any technology. I think it's also got some idea on that, right? And also, you said that your company builds a drone that analyzes videos, photos, right? So, like, what about the software to it? Does it have its own AI?
Yeah, yeah. AI is something that we work on, and we deploy on drones itself. So again, the question is how to make them smart. So you as a user can use them effectively. So today's smartphones, you automatically get a notification or a reminder or anything. You have a digital assistant inside a phone. So imagine drones, while they are inspecting these bridges that I earlier mentioned, are now able to quickly recognize what is there. For to do that, we use AI, like so our drone has 8 cameras on it, and it has one another camera that is recording the videos and doing processing. So we combine all this video feed into analyzing what is happening around it. So usually what happens is, when you are flying a drone, um, it is flying at very far distance and you actually don't know what's happening around it. So let's say if a bird is coming and you can't see the drone is away from you, um, but you can only see one camera feed, which is like a central feed that is looking somewhere, not at the bird. The bird comes and attacks the drone, or it may go and crash into different building. So in order to avoid that, we have put, just like how humans have eyes. So we know that if we are going forward, there is an obstacle there or there is someone there, I need to move away from it. So our drones, they have similar kind of arrangement. So each side has two pair of eyes or cameras that I can mention. So 8 cameras in total. Each side they are always seeing what's happening around them, and they use AI to quickly process what is there around them. Let's say if it's a bird, it classifies it's a bird. If it's a person, it classifies it's a person, it's a building. So all this thing is happening in real time on the drone. So when it is moving forward or when it is moving backward, it knows that okay, there are certain people, certain obstacles around me, I don't need to go and crash into them. So now as a user, you can just confidently give the input, and drone will go, let's say there is a obstacle here, drone will go around it. So that's where we use our video processing or image processing systems to understand what's happening around the environment. And next thing comes is imagine you are flying a drone and you want to know how many people are there, how many cars are there in the system. um, so you can directly see that okay, this is the car that is there. Let's say you have hundreds of them, you can't go and count 100 cars. So you have AI now that sees, looks at the picture and says okay, 100 cars are there in this, 10,000 cars, 20,000 cars. So that counting part, that detection part is what we are enabling using AI.
Okay. I think, then we have more fields to cover. When you give AI to a drone, I think there are endless possibilities, right? In
Yeah,
terms of what it can do and where it can be used, right? So, yeah, if you have some, interesting videos on the work that you do and the drones, right? Our kids would love to see if you can, share some with us.
yeah, I can show one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one video that we have. So if you can see this, this is a drone feed, and drone can now lock onto a target and follow them. So this is one use case. And next we have is myself playing with a small drone that I built. So this is a hand controlled drone inside a lab. Behind me is our lab that we used to work on. So that person was working on a RC plane, and I was just flying around drone. So, so it's really fun. And this is our drone that we built. So here we are just flying around, like again, as I said, engineering is really fun uh, way to put. So this was a circle maneuver that my co-founder was doing. And we have another cool thing that I wanted to show is aerial manipulator. So, so this is a drone with a robotic arm on it. So we have put an arm on it, so it can, right now it is only picking up a box.
Okay.
So tomorrow, if you want to pick up something else, manipulate it. Let's say you have a, um, uh, let's say you have this light here. You want to go and fix a bulb there. The drone can go and fix it. So such interesting ideas we are experimenting when I was in like research, when I was researching about drones and their methodologies. So here I think it carries, and yeah,
It's very interesting. Yeah.
yeah, and it manipulates. So again, as I said, drone is a vehicle that is flying, and how you control the speeds matters a lot.
Mm.
And there is something called weight distribution on drone. So this weight distribution has to be made sure that the drone flies really good. But when some things like this are put, that disturbs the weight distribution, and how you counter it. So that software I have written while I was researching.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think it is not giving away. Yeah, so that is another thing. And another thing is the 3D model. So we have so this is a 3D model developed by our drone. So when drone flies in a neighborhood, it collects photos. So we can use the photos and use some image processing and AI to uh, reconstruct a 3D model in real life. So you can now use the 3D model to 3D print again. So you can, as a architect or a civil engineer who is constructing this is a hospital that we shot. So, so in the for that hospital, we want to know what is the progress. Now, now I have took you all to that hospital without any traveling. So that we are doing, like we are creating virtual arena of entire hospital. So you as a person can directly see it and feel it instead of actually traveling, because traveling to that location is really hard, and it took me around 8 hours or maybe 6 hours, I guess, in car to travel to that location. And once I have the photos and everything, I have if I have I had I have used this technology to show it to everyone. So that power is really there. And one unique feature that we boast upon is our texture retaining. So most of the 3D models that you see in areas can't get really good texture like this. It almost feels real, photorealistic. So if you see it in HD, it is.
Right. Just by seeing here, I can understand it. It's super realistic. And I mean, if you say someone that the photo shot out of satellite and it's an actual image, then I'm pretty sure that everyone would believe it because it's super realistic and and the attention to details is very unique. I think, I guess, right? It's not just a structure with the land, but you get to see the real the color and the textures of the roof, and I mean you can even see the plumbings, the pipe works coming out and all, right? It's super amazing stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Even you can see windows, and we are going step ahead to make this as a engineer's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like we want them, we want in civil engineering especially, um, experience matters a lot. So if you have a experienced person to look at the site, they can suggest good ideas instead of let's say entry level engineer or anyone. So but those people are very rare in country or maybe in entire world. So imagine you have this and you have a link to this 3D model, and you can just send it to that person on an email saying, sir, this is the site that we are building. Can you suggest us what we need to improve? Then sir or ma'am can suggest, hey, this area the paint job is not good, or you are not building correct like this is not the traditional accepted method. You can change, there is a new method coming up. So all this collaboration happens, and that really helps even remote locations like this to improve, get better technology compared to what we see in the cities. So
Right, right, got
that's
it.
I have like maybe uh, so this is another cool thing. So this PPT I made for some of my juniors at IIT to inspire them for uh, uh, like pursuing aeromodelling and other activities, robotics, or maybe other side hobbies. Basically, engineering, I put it in total engineering, not just science or anything. Engineering is actually turning ideas into action. So that is actually best guide for evolution. So I have some more stories to share, and maybe I'll share going forward.
Right. I think it's pretty interesting to see the work that you're doing and the kind of projects you're doing. I think it should be super interesting to work on these projects especially, right?
Yeah.
And so I have few questions, coming up from the kids here. So we have Param who asked about, what kind of programming language do you use for this technology tools? Yeah.
So we have different um, different programming languages for different applications. So mostly we have C and C++, and next we have Python. So these are the major languages that we use. On top of it, we also use Java, JavaScript for small applications and data processing and visualization. So um,
Okay. So the basic would be C language.
C would be starter language. It's a very old language, and most things are most of the existing architectures or systems are written in C,
Mm-hmm.
and we have C++ nearest, which is really fast in execution and good for hardware.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Python that is closing that gap. Again, C++ wins on the experience, on the libraries it was built on.
Right, right. And I mostly for this AI related imaging, you use Python, correct?
Yeah, Python
Okay,
and C++ combined.
okay, okay. Great, great. And so there is also a question from Aryan Singh, who asked, can the drone avoid turbulence?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question that you asked. So, like it can avoid and it can go to another location and stay where there is not much turbulence in the air. So it can using now, instead of fans, we are adding sensors into the motors too. So that motors can sense what's happening with the air around it and can uh, move away. Let's say you have fan, so you have a blower blowing at the drone, and now drone can understand that it's a blower, that is someone is pointing at me intentionally, so it can move away and stay or avoid any conflict with the person, so that it can do.
Okay, okay, got it, got it. And there's also an interesting question that, will there be an opportunity to visit your startup by your
Yeah,
side?
yeah, come and fly drones that we built.
Right. So good. I think, so Prem has given an open invitation for kids. I am sure that, when you see young minds who are really interested in this kind of technologies which we work on, right? We really inspire them and we really give them the motivation. I think that is also a great thing, right?
Yeah.
And also there is one generic question from Param. What challenges, did you face during your startup? I think maybe on some of the things you can share your hardships here. We have spoken about, all the fancy stuff, right? But how is it going? Like, what kind of challenges did you face in your startup?
First of all, Param, thank you a lot for asking good questions. Also, I think you are asking on behalf of everyone. The challenges are quite multi-domain or multidisciplinary, I can say. I'm from an engineering background, and I have no experience of running a business. So that is first challenge I face: how to run a business. And next thing is how to convince people to invest or work with me. That is another challenge, because it's not like a playground anymore. Like you have a 6-hour cricket match, you can go and play. It's real life, real jobs that people are dependent on and everything. So now you get to convince people, like to really convince, because sometimes you just have idea and you really feel that this is going to take off, but it is very hard for others to understand it. So somewhere you need to face the challenge of convincing others and bringing them on board. As I said, I can't alone build a good product. So maybe I can build a small thing and I can take it from there. I can show that, okay, this is how it can work. Like I showed in the aerial manipulator thing. So that was done 2 years before. So you might have not seen any such system in place, maybe in entire country. So you need to show that to people and make them believe that this idea I can make it work. So that those are the initial challenges that you face in startup, and then comes once you fulfill those answers, how to again, as I said, run everything. It's a business is a complex machine like a drone itself. It needs careful tuning and careful communication and participation between different people to make it really successful. So so all these things are first time to me, even as a person, and even I myself have committed a lot of mistakes while in this journey, but always good thing is you can learn from it and you can clearly communicate about your problems and challenges. So if you have a great team that is with you, it really helps enduring this journey.
Okay, okay. Um, uh, So I'm sure that by making them realize what are the future synergies and how you are passionate about it, right? Because what I see is that although it is very simple stuff, you are showing, right? But I think there's a lot of hard work and a lot of iterations and a lot of complex stuff go into these technologies, right? So.
Yeah.
Uh, I know I'm sure that you're a very smart guy and you started with this, right? And for kids especially, right? Anything at all that you want to say at this time that what they should be doing.
Breaking things up, buy a drone and break it up maybe. So maybe a Playto kit and start tinkering around. So I would say that, as I said, fuel your curiosity. So you really have wonderful opportunity. Like your parents also understand this thing. So you know what, I have to convince my mom that IIT is important. So that's that's other way around. Right now people now realize that IIT, my mom used to say that, okay, this costs so much, why should I invest money? You can just you are a good guy, can score A's or 10s in your 10th class, so go and we can pick up a good college after that. I don't understand IIT concept. That's what my mom said. I don't blame her, but back then in tier 2 cities, IIT is a really hard concept for others, and it seemed expensive for parents to afford. But
Mhm.
yet I convinced her somehow. I took my friend to my mom and said, okay, convince her, this is what is really beneficial and all. So once that conviction happened, she is the one who was behind me saying that, okay, why are you not preparing? Go and prepare. This is really important exam and all. So I think even right now, your parents might be helping you in the same way, to build extracurricular activities or build your extra domain knowledge, so you can embrace that opportunity that you have right now. And you have wonderful startups like Plato, who are helping kids to learn and cherish those curiosities and those interesting questions. So as I said, this is a really wonderful time to be a kid and use all these resources. We have seen wonderful examples of people starting coding or anything from engage, and later on going to solve really pressing problems in society. So I think that's what I wish for the existing audience. You can ask really stupid questions or intelligent questions. Nobody bothers. Just ask around. Use this platform. Use several platforms to learn more and grow more. So this is the time to grow. So so that's from my side, Vasant.
Right, right. I'm really, happy. Thanks a lot, for sharing your journey and your simplified explanation towards drones. It is really inspirational, like, how you utilized the opportunity at Aero Club at IIT Delhi, as well as, a small course which our team has given you to, build your skills and eventually you have built a company, right? Because, we are, as you rightly told, we are trying to give exposure, but our job ends there, right? But how you pick it up from there and you move on and what you do after that matters a lot, right? I'm sure, we at Plato also is trying to do the same thing where we are helping kids to get exposure towards science and technology through our kit and classes. But that being said, our job ends there, but they have to get inspired towards what they have to do next, and they start participating in a lot of competitions and do a lot of advanced courses and really collaborate and come up. I think that's a good thing because before we were saying look at Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, who are pioneers in technology, right? Because we really like technology and we want to see who are the pioneers who actually takes the technology one step forward. Now we are really happy to see a lot of people like you, right, who are coming up in latest technologies, and we are trying to get inspiration from people like you who got such exposure and became successful entrepreneurs. And I'm sure that a lot of kids here also got the inspiration today to go ahead and have a passion for technology, work on it, and maybe build a company and change the future, right? Imagine, I'm sure your drones would be sent for a survey to some other planet, and we would end up space exploration as well. Really waiting for that future, right? Thanks a lot, Prem, for joining us and taking your time and sharing your journey. It is super inspirational. And I'm sure kids enjoyed this also, and they would have this inspiration moving forward. So, to the kids out there, so we are going to have more such talks on the technology aspect from experts like Mr. Prem. So, do subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay updated with all the latest videos that we are going to give. And as Prem said, early exposure at your younger age would seed an interest, which eventually, become your career, right? So thank you, Prem. Thanks for your time. So anything you want to say to the kids last?
No, maybe happy weekend.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure you would need a break as well. So you look exhausted. Anyways, thanks for your time. So bye bye, children. So we will meet you on the next Plato Talk. So stay updated. Please do subscribe to our channel.